The topic is growth. Growth is a big topic in the MSP business, you all know, and it's not that easy. And we are looking for a master plan, and this is the master class for the master plan. Doesn't sound bad, huh? So the title is New Clients Every Month, a practical hands-on workshop for MSP leaders. And the interesting thing is, the speakers promise that you will walk out with something in your hand you can use. So really a hands-on workshop. And now please welcome our first speakers with a very, very warm applause. The stage is yours. Come up.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. So we have a bit of a crowd here today for this workshop. We really want it to be very useful for you, first of all. So let me do the quick introduction. My name is Irina. I'm the VP of Cloud Sales, and my team in Acronis work with most of you. So all the partner success managers are in my organization. I have talked to some of you and to many, many, many partners that we have across the globe. So I manage over 10,000 partners. And you know what? At some point I understood that the pain points that you guys have are more or less the same. So you face the same issues, you fight the same battles. And today, together with Johnathan, we want to help you, and together with our amazing panelists, to actually give some hints on how you can work on this thing a little bit faster. So, Johnathan?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you can tell how important I am to the organisation because I didn't get a microphone. So I'm a senior director of marketing here. I'm lucky enough to run the marketing team in Europe. So it's a real privilege to be here. And if you were in yesterday, you would have seen I was doing the True Day. But we've really put together something we think we wanted it to be practical. And we said this yesterday. We don't want you just to sit here and listen. So when we say get your notebooks out, we mean get your notebooks out or your laptops or your phones or whatever. And we want you to actually work through this with us. So let's just jump straight in. As Irina said, in our roles, we're so lucky because we get to travel all around the world and meet with partners. And it is, when I first joined this industry, I thought, okay, everyone's going to be really different, but there are common threads that I meet partners, and the same things keep coming up time and time again. So this is a few things that we put together that we hear from our partners. So I get told, I paid for a marketing agency, and we didn't get one sale for it.
Or we want to grow, but we are too busy to handle new customers.
I also get told, I hired someone in-house, and after 6 months, they've not got a single sale.
And I heard a lot that we send a monthly email about new products and tags. They're so cool, but no one replies.
Mm-hmm. One partner recently said they went to an event, they did a business card thing, they got 100 business cards, and no one answered their calls from it because they just wanted to win the free thing that they were selling.
Oh. And my favorite one is a real one. We created a LinkedIn page and got 3 followers, and 2 of them are my parents. So probably that sounds familiar, and looking at the reaction, it does. So let us help you. So what do we see now as 3 main issues that MSPs face now? First of all is that many partners just jumping into the I'll create a LinkedIn page now, or Instagram account because somebody said it's so cool. Or we'll start calling through some leads that some agency sold us, and they say, they're super hot, you will be successful. So that's first thing, there is no strategy behind it. Second thing is that also the messaging is like, oh yeah, you need EDR, MDR, it's all so cool, new things, but actually the story should be behind it, right? So when you talk to end customers, all they care about is how you can let them sleep at night. So that's the second one. And also the most important, to put these 2 together. So to have sales and marketing working together, just like we do now. And that's also important to have at least someone to take care of this part and put it all together. And our amazing panelists here will help us today to do that. So please welcome Andrew Lister. He's the head of customer services and Care Computers. We have Simon Robert all the way from Las Vegas. He's the owner of Novbox. And we have Andy Harris from ITPS. He's the chief commercial officer there. So welcome and thank you so much. Okay, time to get your notebooks out or whatever you have, just as John said. Make some notes in your phone, in your laptop, anywhere, because we will have some questions that we want you to put some answers for yourself for your next year. What can help you to build a strategy that will actually help you to achieve your goals?
Yeah, so we've got a framework we're going to take you through. It's a 6-7 stage framework, and that's when you're going to actually do the work. But we're going to break this down into 3. So strategy first approach. So if we jump into that, this is a really nice illustration that I use quite a lot to really sum up what we see with MSPs and with other businesses as well. This is not just MSPs. We're guilty of this in marketing at Acronis sometimes. So what this really simulates is, it's like hanging curtains before you've even built the house. That's what it's like when you try and do tactics. And I get it. I get why. So if you look at the next slide, this is really what we're doing. The tactics are the very sort of tip of the iceberg. And that's the visible stuff. So actually, it makes you feel good because you're doing something. Well, we're trying that. We're showing the boss that we are trying to do something. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But what we're here to talk to you about today, when it comes to thinking, taking a step back before you jump in, it's all the stuff underneath. So it's the strong fundamentals, it's the strategy, and it's the stuff you have to do if you want the tactics to work. So our first question, we get to sit down, which is nice. Our first question to our panelists is, why do you think so many MSPs do this? Why do you think they jump in with tactics before actually having a bit of a plan? And have you been guilty of that yourselves?
Yeah, so I will start with that question. So in my case, it was exactly like that. So we hire a couple of years ago, marketing company. They say, yeah, we're going to give you a lot of leads, Simon. Don't worry about that. It's $5,000 per month. For sure, you will have at least 5 new clients per month. And this not work well at all. You know the reason why? Because of that plan. So you cannot ask somebody else that doesn't know your business, doesn't know your products and your employees. So after that, like failing time to try to hire that marketing company and get it going, what we decided to do is to do our own advertising. And you know what I did? I went on LinkedIn because I had a free training on LinkedIn. They say, Simon, you really need to try social selling. I was not aware of LinkedIn. I was thinking LinkedIn was like to find a new job. So I discovered that in the training, and it changed my life completely. To be honest with you, 2 years ago, I was not doing any LinkedIn. Right now, I'm doing at least 1 hour of LinkedIn every day. And you know the reason why? It's the clients are there and they are listening right now. And it's not always easy because sometimes at the beginning I was doing a post, and what I was doing is, instead of creating a page for my company, I created posts on my name because I was the person that was doing technical and sales. So I started sharing my story with everybody around the world. And at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I'm losing my time. Nobody is liking my post. I was like, oh my God, I took like 1 hour to write that story, 0 likes. I was like, it's not working at all. The next day, I got on a call with a client. He said, hey, Simon, I heard about your hamster. I read that post on LinkedIn yesterday. I was like, wow, he read that story. I had a story that my daughter lost her hamster. It was kind of personal story. Mm-hmm. I'm posting more personal stuff during the weekend. And I was like, okay, maybe it's an exception. I go on a next call with another client. I swear, same thing. Hey, Simon, sorry for your hamster loss. I was like, what? What's happening here? So I discovered the power of that tool to share my story with my clients and my prospect. And it changes everything. Just to give you an example, I had a client. He said, hey, Simon, I saw you on LinkedIn. I saw you that you work for my old employer. I would like to meet you to discuss about MSP. So I didn't have to do the work. The client came to me directly on the chat and said, Simon, I want to have a discussion. And you know what? In less than a month, I sell an MSP contract for 100 employees in Montreal. Like that. The client know me, know my story, was following me. So I was like, this is the way to do business. And since 2 years, I'm doing that every day, and I'm getting those clients. So just to make sure to answer the question correctly, If you have a message to say to your clients, maybe you're the best person to tell that message, because it's not that marketing company doesn't do it correctly, but you need to take time to speak to them to make sure that they're sharing the same message as you will share, because every MSP looks similar, but all MSP are different. For example, we use like Acronis product in our MSP, but there's other MSP that will use other software, other security suites.
Don't mention them. Don't mention them. Terrible. Terrible.
So you need to tell the difference. You need to say, hey, you know what? We're Novbox and we're different from other MSP for that and that reason. Because if you just advertise on LinkedIn or let's say on Google Ads, we're MSP, that doesn't ring a bell to the clients. They want to know why you are different and what can you give to that client to make a difference inside their business.
Yeah. Well, I think the key thing is that you tried a tactic, it didn't work. But then you stepped back and said, well, what's my objective? And you wanted to make your personality your objective, and then you did something. So it comes back to that.
And it's also consistency, right? So
Yeah.
you didn't get all of your leads right away, right? So you build a strategy around your own personal brand attached to your company, and then it took some time, like months.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
I think,
and make sure you've written down hamster stories.
Yeah.
That's obviously a key tactic for
I've written that
MSPs.
down. I'm going to get a hamster.
There you go.
That's what.
But yeah, Andy, I mean, if you, yeah,
well,
you've
no,
got-
I think just going back to the question, I think there's a lot to learn in that. Is people do a LinkedIn thing or whatever because it's what I call it's pipeline panic. Right? They see, oh my God, I need, what am I going to sell in Q1 unless I build my pipeline in Q4? So they do a thing. Let's get that out there. And the reason, and I think you've just demonstrated that really beautifully, which is you then run a campaign and you put a bunch of bland messages out there. Good service, whatever MSP is saying that, right? So you being someone senior in the business, you can authentically start a conversation. Although I love the way you came in on it. Actually, they want to talk to you, and you can expand the conversation to what that business needs. Actually, that's how you close that business. I suspect, right?
Yep.
So you want to start a conversation, but you have that experience to continue and expand that conversation, and that is where it comes back to strategy and being consistent about the authenticity of your message, and that's hard to scale beyond the senior people in the team. That's always the trouble with an MSP is the best salespeople are probably the owner founder because they have the passion, the belief. It's in their head that they know why they exist, and most cases, well, they find that hard to tell the rest of the business what that is, so that they can articulate that to a wider audience, so they can scale their business. That's so you do a LinkedIn thing instead.
Yeah, I mean, you only have to look at if you look at founder-led companies, look at the amount of followers that company's got, and look at how many followers the founder has got, and it's significantly more for the founder every time. Apple, Google, things like that. Yeah. But Andrew, what other tactics have you tried that maybe just didn't work? Because it was, I like the panic, the pipeline panic is a great phrase. Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. My background is marketing, tech to start with, but then marketing. So I've kind of seen everything, I've tried everything, and I've had success with some things, not success with others. I think actually planning things properly and having an entire campaign mapped out is the way to go. And I think the pipeline panic, you do something, people want an instant result. They want to have someone pick up the phone, call you, and give you that big contract. And it doesn't happen like that. It takes time. And I think that brand building is so important, especially for MSPs, because there are so many. There's one pie. We're all trying to take a slice. We're all competing. You have to have your USP that you really leverage and really use to kind of get those people interested in you and talking to you.
So some of the if we're talking about tactics, and pipeline panic is a great pipeline panic. We need to get some numbers. Yeah. What's been some of the worst things you've done?
Oh my God, we've done most of them. To be honest, we've done that. We've run an email campaign. So you buy a list, you bang out the emails, and again, it's the It's just what the problem with it is not just that you bought a list and you spent, let's say, 3K on the list and you sent an email, but you probably pulled a whole load of people in your organization to support that campaign. Yeah. They've all done it as a side of desk thing. They haven't got time. They don't want to do it. They want the marketing team to just, and then you send it out, and then you you just get nothing back, and you just feel foolish, actually. Yeah.
I think in most situations as well, everyone's a marketer, and it's the most frustrating thing when you have your plan, you put it into action, then everybody has feedback, and it's like, this isn't helpful.
Really
we have to run with this. We have to let it work. I think as well, I would add, lead generation agencies, I've never had any success with them at all. And I think it goes back to, they don't know you, they can't tell your story, so they're just reading from a script, and people pick up on that on the phone. They know that this is just somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about.
That's actually a very good point, right? Because those agencies, they keep on telling you, oh yeah, wait, it's gonna work. Or then like, okay, one lead in half a year, that's fine. That's normal for the industry. It's not. It's like, it shouldn't be happening, but that's true. If you wanna really train them, you have a dedicated resource to just sit next to them so that they can do it on your behalf.
Exactly.
And when was the last time any of you guys got a cold phone call and went, oh my God, thank you so much. I've been waiting for you to phone. Send me the contract. That's great. Irina, why don't we go to the sort of the practical bit? This was such a good, I mean, look, we could talk for hours, and we've got 3 other big bits we want to talk to these guys about. But why don't you sort of take us through what we want our audience to do?
Thank you for keeping us on track. So, that's the time when I really want you to pull out whatever you can put your notes in, and this will come in handy in the end of the workshop for sure. So please do it. But what I really want to do with you now, so based on what we have just discussed, just start thinking about the next year, right? This obviously end of the year, quarter is already halfway through, but for the next year, define your sales and marketing strategy, your objectives. And here are some tips and tricks regarding like what questions to ask so that you can really answer them. And that would be the beginning of your way, right? It cannot be easy, right? And I'm sure no one will build a strategy right now, but if you just start thinking about it now and you continue when you get back home, that would be like half of the success already, right? So what exactly do you need to do? Many partners, most of the partners really need to find new clients, but I heard partners too telling me, I don't need new. I have a lot on my plate, but I need to keep the ones I have happy and growing. So maybe retention is your plan, right? So you don't like run around crazy trying to tick all the boxes because you think you need new. Maybe you actually don't. Maybe you already have proper ones. Then maybe the lifetime value, another thing, very much connected to retention. Or you just really want to understand how to generate these leads from the very beginning, how to qualify them, how to understand where to spend time or where not. Do you think you can build this strategy around your personal brand? Just as Simon suggested. That's an awesome idea. Not everybody can do it. There's a lot of dedication. Like 1-2 hours a day, it's work. It's part of the work, right? It's not some sidekick. So this is like the first. And second part of it is about the target audience.
Yeah, so what we want you to do, just put 1 or 2 down, because the problem is, what's the best way of eating an elephant? It's piece by piece. You've got to just focus in. And the danger is you try and do too much. You try and target to too many people, and then you don't do anything. So pick 1 or 2 objectives, and then with the target audience, I see it all the time. We're just blasting such a wide radius of people. And so what we want you to think about is actually, okay, who do we really want to target? So if we click on to the next bit, you can see here, sit down and work out what your ideal client profile is, your ICP. Yep. Look at what's worked. Look at the data, and you will see data points, and you'll go, okay, hang on, we're really winning there. We really know, that size of company, that geography, really be specific. Then who's the decision maker? Great example of this. I was talking to Gerald, our CISO, yesterday, and we were joking about the whole CISO roundtable thing. And he said, do you know what? The funny thing is, it's a waste of time targeting me. So if someone's trying to target Gerald as a CISO of Acronis, it is a complete waste of time. And I said, okay, well, tell me more. And he said, you should be targeting my team. Okay, well then who's your team? So really think about who you're targeting, Because a lot of the time you might be targeting the wrong person. So think about the decision makers, but then think about their influencers. Who's going to be the people that actually do the research into what you're selling? Who are the pain points? And then we'll come on to stories in a minute. Current clients, look at your current clients, look at where someone's got this and this, but they're not buying that service. That's a great way to do it. And then you've got high value segments. Okay, what's hot at the moment? Is it hospitality? Is it retail? Is it, retail in the UK at the moment? They're probably thinking about cybersecurity because of all the things that have happened. And then profitability and fit. Like, think about how they fit into your business. Yes, of course, wouldn't it be lovely to go and win that huge enterprise customer? But if you haven't got the service to actually service them, you're going to bring them in and then you're going to let them down and they're going to go, and that's going to be a terrible case study. So really think about your profitability fit. So there we go. That's your first task. What's your objective? Who your target audience is going to be? And then we're going to go into...
And also moving to the second part, I think also good area can be a good for storytelling, right? You can say, hey, I'm the best MSP in Kansas area. And there's the consistent message you put everywhere, right? Not about services that you do, but this is like, maybe that's specific just for you. You can take over all the small businesses in some specific area. So that's also an idea.
And you just mentioned storytelling, which it's almost like she wrote the deck. Amazing. Right, storytelling. This is one that's really close to my heart. Really close to my heart, because I think, again, in pipeline panic, which is a phrase I'm now going to use every week. Sorry to my marketing team. But storytelling is so important, because we panic. We go, right, we're going to get out there. We'll put a product message out there, and honestly, no one cares. So if we go to the next slide, I'm going to show you just a quick example. These are real life examples, right? So we had an MSP. They were targeting retailers, and they wanted to go out and say, look, we can help protect your M365. We can help protect your systems that keep your supply chain moving. All relevant things, because we've heard these stories in the news. E-commerce, huge. We need to keep your e-commerce site up and running. This particular, retailers might operate at key times of the year: Valentine's Day, Christmas, Black Friday, things like that. And we need your point of sale technology, because if you've got customers in the store and you can't serve them because you've been hit by a cyber attack. So on the left-hand side, you'll see an email they sent out. We provide 24/7 SOC monitoring for anomalies across your POS environments. Don't forget, these are probably retailers that don't have IT expertise. So their reaction is, what the hell's SOC? And you can replace SOC with EDR, XDR, all that. Like, they don't know what it is, and they don't care, and they shouldn't have to. That's why they've got you. They go, this sounds, in the line underneath, it's like, unlock your business's full potential with comprehensive cybersecurity strategies. That sounds really expensive.
When you say it out loud, it's even worse.
Oh, it's horrible. But switch it to the right. Think about the story. Think about what keeps this retailer up at night. Imagine a customer comes into your store, swipes their card at your checkout, and everything just works, even if you've been hit by a cyber attack. That's beautiful. Because then they're thinking, well, hang on a second, you're protecting my customers, you're protecting my reputation. I employ, 5 different families. I've got 5 people that have got families. I'm going to keep them in a job. And so you're hitting them with emotion. And we've all heard this before, but B2B is no different to B2C. Like, we buy with emotion. Like, whenever we make a decision, you might not even realize it, but first thing is emotion, then it's the logic. So if you're trying to cut through the noise, you have to have emotion. I'll do the next one really quickly, and then I want to hear from our panel. So there was another MSP. This one was selling to professional services. So professional services, as you know, they rely really heavily on trust. And the target audience, we're talking about the target audience, these are managing partners. These are IT light people, so they're not IT people. That's why they've chosen to have an MSP. Law, accounting, and consultancy. So they're thinking about billable hours. They're thinking about selling their services. On the left-hand side, you can see here, we deliver advanced backup and disaster recovery solutions with zero trust architecture and immutable storage. What? Yeah. I'm a managing partner of a legal firm. What is immutable storage? I don't know. Delete. Whereas on the other one, your clients trust you with their data, or their most sensitive information, and regulators expect you to protect it. Okay, you've now hit me on two fronts. One, compliance, and two, my reputation as a professional service provider. I'm listening. Did you see the difference? It's really quick. It's really easy. Do not lead with product. Lead with storytelling. Think about your target audience and what matters to them. So coming over to the panel, it's really tough. I mean, you mentioned it earlier on. In a world full of MSPs that all have products, how are you differentiating yourselves?
So, I mean, they're great examples, right? So the spoiler is, I think the differentiation's in the detail of what you can do for that customer, right? Because after that, everyone's pretty much the same. But one of the things I think, just answering some of your other questions as well, which leads to this answer, is when you talk about setting out your business objectives and that sort of thing, right? Your business plan. Whose problem are you trying to solve? I think it starts there, right? And how passionately do you believe that you can solve that problem, right? So the things that you had on the right, the two great examples, actually they're boardroom discussions, right? They're not talking about I need immutable backups. They're the answer, right? What they're saying is, how do we grow this business and manage our risk? How do we become more productive? And that's a boardroom discussion. And you then have to go and figure out who are you really good at and better at that than anybody else, right? So when I talk then back about these bland things, we can give you immutable backups, we can give you great infrastructure, whoopee-dee, right? The way you're going to differentiate is by saying, I see you, I get you, and I specifically can deliver some outcomes for you. I believe that's the only place you can differentiate. The rest is, I've got a backup solution as well. I've got a DR solution as well, right? So the only place is, where it goes well is when you say, I see you and I get you, and here's some detail about how I understand you. For me, it's in that level, which is why I think why senior leaders are great closers, because they've just got experience too. They've met a lot of people. They've got war stories about other customers. It's interesting you were talking about that, because I met another CEO the other day, and they've got your problem, and then you're relevant. That's how you differentiate. I'm gonna stop, but otherwise I go on all day about this subject. Yeah.
That's a great point. Anyway, Andy, Simon.
Yes, I will say that it's very important. If you have a package, if you're selling an MSP package, let's give you my example. I have an unlimited package. It's very simple. You can read it in 2 lines. Like, this is the unlimited package. It's $89 per month per user. That's it. That's all. I saw my competitor, and there was like that paragraph, like, it comes with XDR, EDR, MDR, SOC 24, blah, 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 advanced backup, disaster recovery in another time zone. So the client, when they see that, they're like, it's like what you were explaining. They don't understand that language.
And they probably even ask, do I even need all of this? Right? Nothing happens to me.
They just don't understand. They think that we're trying to sell them vacuum, Like, hey, it's trying to get me. It's trying to sell me something that I don't need. I'm sure I don't need the XDR. So there's a panic in the eyes of the clients when you get too technical. So you were talking about the persona a couple of slides ago. So if you're talking to the IT manager, go ahead, talk about disaster recovery. You're talking to the CEO, stop that right now. You need to say, hey, you know what? I'm able to save your business. Let's say there's a fire in the office. We can recover from another time zone. So that's the time to talk about that. And sometimes you will see in the eyes of your client, your prospect, that it's not going anywhere. So you need to change the subject. And like the example you gave, what can I do for you? What can I do to improve your business? Because if you're only talking about the products, it won't go anywhere.
I actually love how Andy summed it up with like, is it productivity? Is it risk mitigation? Is it growth? It cannot be all 3 at once, right? It should be something that this specific client is struggling with right now. And it's definitely not, I'm struggling because I don't have disaster recovery, right? It's one of the 3.
These people, I mean, they're all very time poor as well. So you've got to catch them. And I think if it's a very technical message, there are people that will read that and understand what's going on. But if it's something that's more emotional and you are telling a story, it's much easier psychologically to hit them in a different place. And that's what makes the message stick. And that's what makes them like want to speak to you and want to engage with you.
So how would you go out and approach understanding what their problems are?
That's a really good question, actually. Psychic powers?
Or ChatGPT.
Yeah. I think just knowing what's going on in the industry and knowing what's worrying people in the audience and defining the audience is the most important part of marketing. You always start there. I think knowing what they're worried about and then crafting a story using your offering that speaks to that. Just talking to people, talking to your existing clients as well.
And there you go. I think that's a brilliant point, actually, is talking to your existing clients. So once you've done your audience segmentation and gone, okay, we're really successful there, I'm going to go, I've already said to Gerald, I'm going to go and set up a call with Gerald and I'm going to interview him about how to market to his team. Because if I can understand that, then we can, share that and do that. So I think that's a really good point.
And I think also testing your marketing as well. If you come up with something or a hook, speak to your clients, find a client that you get on really well with and say, how does this work for you? Would you stop, click, read, engage this? And
then you don't need to spend half a year to understand it's not working.
Because A/B testing is expensive. If you're doing that in LinkedIn or any other platform, it's going to cost money, whereas you can pretty much test for free.
I agree with that. If you talking to a customer, as customers plural, it gives you those stories. And great stories always beat great spreadsheets, and that's how you build emotion. The only thing I would add as well is it's so tempting as an MSP because let's say you do infrastructure, you can solve almost everybody's problems because everybody needs infrastructure, right? So the one analogy I bring is. I don't know whether you all know Ramsay's kitchen nightmares, right?
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. He does it's kitchen hell and all that sort of stuff, and it's normally a restaurant going bust. And one of the first things he always does. I mean, it's unwatchable TV, by the way. It's hard. It's watched through your hand, through your fingers. But he says, reduce your menu. You sell less, simplify your message, and that allows you to then really concentrate authentically about whose problem you're trying to solve and how you can do it. And it's so rarely about the technology. And the only thing I would add is when you talk about statistics and emotion and that sort of thing, I think you've got to. It's tempting to say 75% of businesses that get a cyber attack go bust, right? And it might be true, but I think you've got to talk about the benefits of what you do for that business, right? I think that's just far more engaging. I don't think you frighten people into liking you. I think you have to be positive. Yeah,
I agree. And it wouldn't be a marketing session with me if I didn't roll out my cheesy line, which is about products. And it's no one wants to buy a 1/4-inch drill bit. They want a 1/4-inch hole on the wall. So actually, if you go out and go, hey, buy this drill bit, why? But if you go out and say, hey, you wanted to put a picture of your family on the wall in your office because that makes your office space a lot nicer. Oh yeah, that resonates. But you need the drill bit to do that. So yeah, it always comes back to emotion and story. Love that, right.
And we're taking out notebooks again, or phones, or anything that you have in handy to develop the key messaging, right? So that's exactly what we were talking about right now. The core value proposition, that's the fundamental, right? That's the basic. You may not think about it right now, but it's definitely something already, like first thing that pops into your mind, that could be the right one, right? You know your business, you know your existing customers, you know what is the main problem you're actually fixing for them. So that can be your main one. Then the pain points, right? I really love the one, Andrew, about talking. Talking is the only way. And I honestly don't think, sometimes I think we don't talk enough to you guys. So obviously, like, you also don't talk enough to your end customers, right? You may talk to few of them, but then it's all busy, it's all operations, it's all like putting up with the fires. But find some time to actually talk to them and understand why they're still with you and what are you helping them to do. And then also run through them some ideas that you might have, especially some loyal customers that are with you for a long time. They would be happy even to feel included, I think. And then, features they are important, but definitely not on top of the list, right? So Yeah, we still have it here. Yeah, so then case studies, testimonials, again, back to your existing partners, right? You can put it on your website. You can put it to your LinkedIn page. And again, but it should be the same message, right? The message shouldn't be like today we talk about one thing, tomorrow about the other. It's consistent. If you help with productivity, that's what you put everywhere around. That's what you talk to your partners about. So that is the key.
So a good example would be, hey, do you want to buy this cable for your laptop? Or would you like to do a presentation without your slides disappearing every 2 seconds? There we go, there's a good example. Sorry, guys.
And then plan the marketing. That's the second one. And we were actually thinking about it because this is a tough one. Like, should we even say it out loud? But we decided that yes, we should. Without marketing, it's impossible to be successful. You can, up to some certain point, build a business without sales and marketing being involved. But then if you want to grow, it would be impossible. And not even like some people think, okay, we need sales and marketing. We hire them only when we hit like certain mark and we like, I don't know, like $1 billion company. Well, no, actually even small businesses, they need at least one person. It can be one person. It can be like sales/marketing person if you don't have enough budget, but it's still much better than paying something to some agencies, sales agencies, marketing. I worked like 20 years ago, I worked in call centers. And even back then, cold calling was already like, it was still successful at that point, but not really, right? So now it's definitely dead. And I kind of like moving from sales and marketing mix to actually sales and marketing alignment. But that's the key, right? So very often, like after all the events, we do it as well at Acronis, right? We reach out to some of you saying, hey, we have some event with end customers in your area. Here, there are some hot leads, like you can go through them. What partners do? Sometimes they don't really have resources to call. They maybe call once and that's it. This lead is gone. Basically, if you don't follow up, that's it. Or the expectation is that, okay, yeah, that's a done deal. I'll call and they'll sign a contract. They won't. And again, maybe those are these guys who come on just for goodies. They just like, yeah, scan my page. And like, I'm not really a lead or something, right? So even we are not like too good in that yet. But this is the very important thing. If you think you can do it old school way, calling through yellow pages, or waiting for customers to just show up because maybe someone recommended, until you, like, if you don't really work in it, it won't happen. And this should be a very, very, very clear message that only the marketing team or person with a marketing background can help you. You definitely have at least one person in the team who knows something about marketing and people who know about sales. So they should sit and work together on the strategy and all these points that we put on the previous slides. Otherwise, like if you don't have marketing, you only have salesperson, that would be this guy with a phone, calling yellow pages, trying to do something, post randomly on LinkedIn. If you have just marketing person, that will be, hey, let's make an event. Let's call all our partners and have a beer or whatever. And then you have a beer and that's where it ends. And then you're like, why nothing happens? Why nothing, like, where are the sales? They won't be there, right? The strategy is needed and this alignment is very crucial. And with that, I'm moving to our last question. Who do you blame more when leads don't convert? Sales for not following up or marketing for sending the wrong kind of leads? That's like
get ready for this one.
Egg.
Get ready for this one.
There's a lot of finger pointing with this from both sides. I think marketing and sales, they are partnership roles. You have to work collaboratively together. And I think marketing, your job is to bring people in, tell them about who you are, tell your story, but then also qualify them. And I don't think that happens often enough. An MQL is rarely actually an MQL. You just send someone a name, a company, they're interested in us, they're not interested at all. You have to go through that qualification process. And I think that's the whole process of nurturing leads, which then goes into sales qualification and sales qualified leads, is really, really important. And it's a step that so many people miss out. So it's no one's fault. We're in this together.
Oh, yes, it is. Hang on. No. In fact, in the planning process, I think you should work out who to blame when it goes wrong, right? I think that's really important, right? Yeah. With me, I look after both sales and marketing, so that I suppose it's only my fault. But it's not just sales and marketing, actually. I always say with this business, you've got to hunt in packs. It's actually quite, I don't know whether it's worth a show of hands, but most MSPs, they've probably got 25 to 100 people in their business. And so moving a set of activity, a set of workload that's going to try and generate you new leads or a cross-sell campaign into your existing base is an investment in time, which is not just sales and marketing, but it's probably pre-sales. If you're lucky enough to have product, it might be that as well, and possibly some time from the owner founder or the exec as well, right? And so because you might need those people with the most experience to write some thought leadership that makes you relevant to your customer base. It's not an hour's work. I'll do that tonight over a glass of wine. That is. A couple of weeks' work with paragraphs rewritten and having another go and all that. So I think you've got to hunt in packs and follow the data and just you're not failing, you're learning, and you've got to go again. I think you said something really good, Irina, which is if you try hard enough, you can make anything work. You've really got to stick at it and push. That whole team has to invest that when it doesn't work the first time, you're going to have another 5 or 6 goes at it, right? Yeah. Because you're going to learn and be better and learn and be better.
But you must optimize. The key there is optimize. Like you can't just go. It's a sunken cost fallacy.
No.
You can't just go right. We're doing this, and we'll just keep doing it, and we'll keep putting money into it. And you're right though. But you have to give it long term. But you have to be tweaking it along the way. So I think that's a good distinction to make. Simon, what about you?
I'll say that we're talking about marketing and sales, but something that is very important is to think about the distributor and the Acronis representative. In my case, I work with IT Cloud in Canada, and I work with Stanila, that it's my account representative. So
award-winning IT Cloud from Canada, we should say.
Of course.
There you go.
Congratulations, guys. So they won the award of the best distributor in Canada. Very proud of you guys. Congratulations. So just to give you the example, we have the sales team at Novbox. The only thing is, like marketing, we're good. Like my VP of sales and marketing, she's amazing. She's doing a very good job. But if it wasn't the help of Stanila, last time we didn't have the opportunity to do a webinar. So we threw a webinar on LinkedIn and say, you need to discover that new product. It's the security awareness training. So I've worked with Stanila and was a big success. So we had a couple of leads. So they were I think there was not 100 people. There was maybe 20 people that joined the webinar, and we closed the sale for 50%. So we closed 50% of the clients that were there. So I was very thrilled about that because sometimes we don't have the resources, especially I'm a small business, so I don't have 10 person for marketing and 10 person for sales. So asking help from the distribution side and Acronis side, it can really help you. So you need to raise your hand and say, you know what, I need help. I need money, I need a marketing campaign. Can you help me? Do you have an image that I can post on LinkedIn? Do you have marketing materials? So it's very, very important to don't suffer in silence and ask for help because Acronis is there to help you. So you just have to raise the hand and voila, in a couple of minutes, you will have a new marketing campaign ready. And of course, all of the leads will come through.
Maybe not a couple of minutes. Let's manage expectations. You're right. There was a lot of nodding there. So do you feel that, did that resonate, what Simon was just saying?
I think the industry is great for sharing content. The amount of content we get from distributors, from vendors is brilliant. And I've never had that before. Usually you have to write something. You're not the subject matter expert. And it reads. You see that when you read it. It's I don't know what I'm talking about here. But having all of that imagery, campaigns that are already bundled up, ready to go, and not always will they be stories or storytelling or emotive, but you can change them very quickly. It's easier to start with a piece of content that's foundational and then build it in the way that you want it to run.
Okay, so last but not least.
Here we go. So this is the end of our framework. So you've got your 4, you've got the tactics, then you need to allocate the resources. And Simon actually set this up really nicely because, I'm lucky we have a large marketing team here. We have marketing budget. You don't. So you really need to think about, okay, which people are you going to take off and to focus on this? And I think that alignment piece is really important as well because quite often marketing can go and do a campaign and they think it's all great, but they forgot to tell sales about it. And so sales are off talking about something completely different, and there's not that alignment. So when you think about the people, think about that alignment piece as well. But you might want to use an agency. You might want to use the partner portal of a vendor. So that's really key. So don't think about people just internally. Then what budget you want to put on, that's really important. How much money are you going to invest in this? You should be looking at ROI. Really, ideally 5 to 1. Maybe 3 to 1's acceptable. So for every euro, dollar, pound you spend, you want to be getting 3 to 5 back, or aim for that. How much time are you going to do? This is why right at the start, I said, don't try and do everything. Choose something and then stick with it for a period of time. You need to think about your technology, what marketing stack you're going to use. I mean, there's so many great tools out there now which can automate a lot of this and speed it up. And then I'm going to move to implement and monitor. Andy said it. Launch it and then make sure you're looking at it. Don't just launch it and then look at it in a month's time and go, it didn't work. Look at it every day. See what you can tweak. See what time you're posting things. See what events you're going to. Quickly, one of my favourite stories, I did a panel with a group of MSPs, and I asked them what their most successful marketing campaign was. And every single one, I mean, it was a smaller group of MSPs, but every single one of them said, I took a pull-up banner to my local networking group and I won loads of business. It doesn't always have to be shiny digital. Sometimes the simple stuff works. So monitor that and then analyze the results. Sometimes failing is fine, as long as you fail fast and you don't do it next time. But look at what worked, look at where the channels which resonated with your target audience, so you've worked through this list, and then use those insights. If something's working, keep doing it. Honestly. The danger is we think, oh, well, we did that last time, we shouldn't do it again. Absolutely not. If that's working, keep doing it. Keep doing it in the same place, keep doing it with the same message. Why would you stop doing something that's working? So yeah, and we're going to give you these slides. So I know you saw lots of photos, but you're going to have this, so hopefully you can use it.
And with that, the fun part. Let's put it all in practice. So we ask you to put things together throughout the session. So now I really want you to put some kind of strategy together. And whoever is brave enough to stand up and share whatever they put down, Acronis will give you MDF funds for next year to support this plan. So, of course, do not expect any of you to have a really 1, 2, 3 plan, right? But whatever you have put down, if someone, again, is brave enough, and it could be few people as well, we will make sure to support your strategy with the marketing funds from Acronis as well. And while you're thinking and doing the summary of the notes, I want to ask our speakers about if you can, to sum it up, just one advice you can give to our partners right now. What would it be?
I will start. So my advice is to connect with the maximum person that you can. This is the most important part. Just to give you an example, we think that break and fix is dead. This is not true. There's a lot of people in their basement doing trying to fix issue. They're firefighters, trying to fix IT issue. And they're desperate. They're going burnout. So you need to contact those guys. They will give you their clients for free. They will say, I want to retire, I want to change, I want to do another thing than IT. So connect with those people. Other thing, sometimes there are people retiring and they want to sell you their clients. So if you want to grow your client base, it's a good thing to make sure to connect with a lot of people. And sometimes you will be afraid because it's your competitor. I just met this guy this morning. He's from Montreal, I was so happy. I was like, hey, my business is in Montreal too. So let's connect. So it's very important. Don't be afraid of your competitor. They are your best friends and they can give you leads. And sometimes you can even exchange clients. So let's say that I have a client that it's in the northern part of Canada and I don't have an office there. I will be happy to give that client to somebody that I met in a congress. So they will be happy to help that client. And of course, they will give me another client that is, for example, in the southern part of Canada. So that's very important to connect with the maximum person that you can. So it can be on LinkedIn or it can be by email, whatever you want, but connect with people and don't be afraid.
Thank you, Simon.
It's like being a kid in a sweet shop. There's so many options, right, of things to say. But I would say, don't get distracted. Target audience, focus products. That's it.
Mine would be, I think, referring to one of the earlier slides. When you look at your audience, don't stay at the top. Don't go just for CXO, because work rolls downhill, and the most junior people are often the ones looking for the services we're selling, and they're going to sell those internally. So target those people. And another thing, I think, also look at adjacent industries when you're looking at people that are going to help you, that are going to give you referrals. So if you don't sell telecoms or internet connectivity, find a company that does, partner with them, sell a few of their services, and they'll start to refer clients to you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, so have we got anyone that wants to earn some free money by being brave enough to stand up?
Yeah.
Here we go. Right, okay, here we go. Maybe you need
Good.
I'm come and grab the mic. I can't walk.
He ran the marathon on this weekend, so you can see that.
You mentioned Kansas, and I'm from Kansas.
Oh, cool.
So we have some products that we create across Acronis and Scale Computing, and we've combined them into a product that's basically like a magic box you drop in place. It'll do all the different services that we all do, right? But it's really just marketing for the things we already do. And I've been trying to think of a way to put it together in a marketing campaign, because it does get long, big lists of everything we can do. I had a colleague of mine at a mastermind meeting. He's like, it's kind of like an air fryer. It does all the cooking that you need. And so I was thinking, as we mentioned, Hell's Kitchen and menus and lowering them and stuff like that, that we do an analogy for cooking and an air fryer. Like, so our devices be the air fryer, and all our different services are the different recipes that we can put together for them. And we do small to mid-market, so they're very simple. We're Kansas, rural areas. They don't understand technology. So being able to go in with something they can understand, and then kind of combine it with maybe the webinar events where you cook, or doing invite them into different cooking classes. So that's
Awesome.
kind of where I'm.
So
thinking.
now Acronis will sponsor that. Okay.
Give him a round of
Thank you
applause.
so much.
I feel like you need to go and do that quickly, because otherwise we're going to see air fryer campaigns. Okay, so your growth starts here. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much to our panel as well, and we'll give them a round of applause in a second. But here's the framework: set your objectives, work out your target audience, think about your key messaging. Then you get to the tactics. Look at where the tactics are. It's right in the middle. Then think about your resource planning, implement and monitor, and then analyze it to see what works. So what we've done is we've got a QR code there. This is brand new, so this is just hot off the press. We've created a marketing assessment tool for you to do. Because quite often it's like, well, yeah, I'd love to do marketing, but I don't quite know if I'm there yet. And it also helps us give you the right things, because we don't want to give you materials which assumes you've got a 5-person marketing department and a $1 million budget. We want to give you the right thing for your level. So if you go onto that QR code, fill out the survey. It takes 5 to 7 minutes. I've done it. And then it will put you into a category, and then that allows us to then give you the right marketing materials and the right marketing expertise to help you. So it's brand new. I would love your feedback on it. So talk about talking to our customers. I'd love you to try it out, and then find me, connect with me or one of my team, come and speak to me at the show, and let me know what you think about it and how it might help you. But thank you so much for giving up your time to come here today. We really do appreciate it. Have you got any final words, Irina?
Yeah, I want to thank Simon, Andy, and Andrew. And you can find the guys, of course, here during the event and evening at the party. Well, except for Andrew, he will be leaving earlier, so catch him first. So thank you very much for sharing it. I think it really make you feel better when you understand everyone is going through the same issues, right? Just someone figured it out earlier, and networking and talking and figuring out these things will actually help you to get there a little bit faster. So thank you very much for your attention and coming here.
Thank you to the panel. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.